morning. Today is Thursday, March 9th. The year is 2023. I'm sitting here with these dogs running around my damn feet, like running around. This one here, right here. Oh, Lord. She's been biting my feet. She's been attacking Grayson. I was going to put them on that deck way on the other side of the house. I said they saw me coming for their ass. They took off running. Y'all saw their ass running. They were like track stars. They couldn't catch their asses. I got you now. I got you now. I got you now. Yes, I do. I can grab you and throw you out there on that deck now. Come here, Grayson. I got you too. This is the one that was took off running. He saw me. He said, whoa. He backed up. He looked at that deck. He saw me open up that door. He said, oh, you didn't trick our asses before. That's how I got him out there yesterday. I said, I had to open up the door and threw a couple of treats out there. He ran out there and I slammed that damn door out on their ass with a trap. They're going over there and run around. They just love running around and running. Mexico. Is it safe? You guys, people have been going down to Mexico for decades. Millions of tourists visit Mexico. I think some people are alarmed by these, this recent 2 deaths of who went down there to 4 people went down there to Mexico and 2 were killed by, it's possibly, according to Mexican police, it was mistaken identity. But millions of people visit Mexico and come back home safely. Millions. Mexico is a tourist attraction. I've traveled to Mexico. However, tourists have been killed in Mexico and other countries around the world. When you have millions of people traveling to countries, some people may not make it back home, whether it's by murder or an accident or a heart attack or carbon monoxide poisoning. There ain't no guarantees you're going to make it back home when you go on vacation. I love Mexico. I visited Cancun, I've been to Cabo, I've been to Puerto Vallarta, I've been a couple. I tend to stick to the tourist destinations. Now these little small cities where they have the medical dentists and plastic surgeons and all that stuff. I would tell anybody, if you're going to do that, you show up, do your homework and so that you get there safely and get back safely. And one mistake I think the people who went to Mexico, they drove. I would never drive a car in Mexico. You don't know where you're going. You don't know where you're at. I made the mistake of we were in Mexico on vacation. We rented a rental car because we wanted to go to the casino. During the daytime, it was fine. We drove over to the casino, came on back. But at nighttime, when we went to the casino. When we were leaving the casino, all hell had broke loose in Mexico. They had streets closed off. The navigation was taking me all out the way, and we were just trying to get back to the hotel row in Cancun, where all the hotels are at. It was the officers running around with guns, and I don't know if it had been a shootout. I don't know what the fuck was going on. And I pulled up to this officer, and I was like, "Help! I need help." And he looked at me, and he said, "Get out of here! Go! And I didn't know what the fuck to do. I'm like, "Ah!" And I realized by the time we found our way back to the hotel, scared to death, we were made believers. You need a rental car. Do not rent a car, especially at nighttime. I wouldn't recommend driving in any country where you don't know. When you have access to Uber and taxis and limousines that can transport you safely through these communities, because you got a niggerville everywhere. And if you end up in the wrong community, you might be in trouble. So I would strongly recommend that you go someplace. Okay, this is starting to get ridiculous. This is starting to get ridiculous every morning with this foolishness. Every morning, this is how it is over here. I don't think dogs should be inside the house. They should be out in the backyard running around tied to a motherfucking tree. That's how I grew up. We didn't have no dogs inside the house. We even had the cats. They wouldn't allow inside the house either. Pets should not be inside no damn house. They should be outside in the yard, attached to a chain to a tree. Take some dog food out there and let them bark and scare all the way the birds and the neighbors and the burglars or whatever. Because all this ripping and running this morning is starting to get on my damn nerves. Every morning is like this. They wake up with tons of energy. That's why I need to get their asses over here. Get Ginger just had her surgery, so she should be ready to go now to doggy daycare. to be put up for adoption. But anyway, Mexico is safe, y'all. I don't care where you go in the world, people get killed while on vacation. There was a guy who was killed in one of the islands down the Caribbean last year. Yeah, I wish I could see. Grace is staring at me. He's staring right at me, chewing on his dog toy. Just staring straight at me, making all this racket. But there was a young man from, he was he was part of the NAACP, and he went on vacation somewhere in the Caribbean islands when he was shot and killed. I probably could look it up, but there are no guarantees you're going to make it home. That's why I always tell people, if you're traveling out of the country, make sure you get travel insurance in the event that you are injured, shot, murdered. They get your ass back in safely. You don't know what you may encounter. You're on vacation, and you can't just sit here in the United States and say, I'm scared to leave the country. We have more murderers shooting and murdering going over here. Like these neighborhoods that I live in are safe. We know what's going on in the United States, particularly what's going on in Niggerville. So it's unfortunate that this incident happened down there in Mexico, and 2 people were killed. But by no means does that cause me to have fear to go to Mexico. Now, I will say this: when I go to Mexico, I stick to the tourist destinations where there are millions of people, and I don't travel. I make sure I get on those shuttle buses that are provided by whoever I book if you go through Expedia or Cheap Caribbean, who I recommend, you can book your transportation to and from the hotel or resort or wherever you're staying. And some of y'all might be doing Airbnb. I don't, do that. I know plenty of people who've done Airbnbs. I prefer resorts when I'm in these foreign countries. Only because you don't have to leave the resort for anything unless you just want to see some of the locals and local areas or go out for a excursion of some type. But when I've been to Mexico, numerous times. I've stayed at very nice luxury resorts. And they warn you to be careful if you leave outside the resort or to stay within the hotel area or go on an excursion or use one of the hotels. They have limousines and drivers. Use them to transport yourself back and forth. But I definitely would recommend driving a rental car or any car in a country if you don't know where you're at, because you might be driving through a really bad area. You don't even know where you're going and where you at. I think in this instance, these people will follow from the border. I mean, I'm reading some of the stuff that like they show for some reason the vehicle they were in looked like possibly a vehicle that was mistaken identity. They had a mistaken identity. They thought it was somebody else. It wasn't them. And I do believe that these people were innocent and just were going down there to do what they said they were going to do. Some girl was going to get a procedure done. She had friends with her. Everybody was probably all geek. We going to Mexico. I can see it now. I might have jumped in the car, but I ain't gonna drive. They drove. I still don't understand if they drove from South Carolina to Mexico or did they fly in a rental car. I don't know what took place there. I don't know. Maybe you all have seen. That's a long drive from South Carolina to Mexico. And, I'm not a proponent of going to these foreign countries. I know plenty of people who've done it. Go to these foreign countries like Mexico or Turkey, and my sister went to Turkey and had all this surgery done. She went all the way around the world to Turkey by herself. I was like, this girl crazy as hell. She is crazy as hell too. I would never do that by herself. Grayson, give me that. That's what I want. You brought it right to me too. Lay it down off the table. Move. Give me this one too. Now get somewhere. Oh, let's do it. Run outside. It's supposed to rain today. Washing this pollen away. I hope it does. This pollen's bad. But don't be afraid to travel, y'all. Travel wisely. If you're going into a foreign country, hire a driver, a limo, shuttle bus. Let them take you to and from your destination because they're going to avoid certain areas. The bad people see a shuttle bus is tinted windows. They don't know who's on it. The limousine drivers, hire somebody to transport you around there. They could have flew into Mexico at the airport, and the surgeons and the doctors and the dentists, and I've looked in this, they meet you there with transportation at that airport. And they transport you to your destination and then the hotel where you stay at anywhere you need to go. That is probably the best way to do this. Because you're going into an area you don't know. You're in a city you don't know anything about, around people you don't know. There's a language barriers, all kinds of stuff. Let them meet you at the airport and provide you transportation to and from your destination safely. And even though no guarantees there, I'd rather do it that way. Now, I fly down to Mexico, I book they be sitting right there at the airport, a Mexican, the person up there, Hispanic, or whatever is the correct terminology, Latino, and they're sitting holding a sign, Walter Hampton. And I said, that's me. They come on, yeah, we go, let's go. I've had wonderful trips to Mexico. That one night we rented that car, and right then that was the worst mistake we ever could have made. Because I wasn't too sure we were going to make it back to that hotel. I know what the fuck I was going to. It was just a wing and a prayer, literally, getting back to that hotel. An hour later, we pulled back to the hotel. There it is. Oh, we made it. We pulled back in there. Thank God. We put it in there. Oh, God, it had nothing to do with that, though. Religious bullshit. But I'm not afraid to travel. You just have to make sure you travel right. Again, I personally feel they should have flew down there. Flew into the airport and caught transportation, one of them limos or shuttle buses or whatever transportation the doctor they were going to see could have provided for them back to have this procedure done. I'm not a big, myself personally, I had my chest surgery on my chest. I've had surgery on my stomach, liposuction, and I had a gynecomastia. I did that here in the United States and came home and got in my bed. Yeah, I pay a little bit more for it here in the United States, but I'm not about to run out to Mexico for no surgery. And then, no, I'm not. Y'all do the fuck y'all want to do. I'm not doing that. I was looking at some dental stuff going on down there, get some implants and stuff in Mexico. I said, I'm going to do that shit locally. I have an appointment to meet with somebody right here in the United States this in a couple of weeks. Shit, I don't even want to go down to Miami. I know people flown out of Miami had some dental work done, but myself personally, I'd rather be right here in my home, resting and relaxing. But I don't have fear, y'all. Like I say, millions of people travel to these countries. Millions of people from around the world go into Mexico, and they make it home safely. There are things that do happen in countries while on vacation or taking care of business. There are terrible things that happen to people. And I personally like going to resorts, but not all resorts are safe. They have security and stuff. I've seen incidents where I've read about incidents that's happened in resorts from Jamaica to Mexico to Punta Cana. So, you just have to be very wise. And here's another thing that we must remember when traveling out of the country. Night at anywhere, no matter where you are, even though this incident with these people took place in the middle of the day, when nighttime falls at these resorts and places, you need to be very careful when walking through these dark resorts. Many of these resorts are massive, and it's dark. You're walking down long hallways or walkways. We went to Punta Cana and we stayed at the Hard Rock Casino. That place was massive, and you had to catch these shuttles all over the place. And so one particular night, we said, we'll just walk back to the hotel and walk with torches, walking all that heat, and we dressed up in nice clothes and stuff. And it's dark, and you can't see, and, you're trying to walk these pathways and stick with crowds. The shuttle bus, we had just waited. The shuttles were just a crowd. If there were others, they kept saying more. So every time a shuttle pulled up, it was packed with people. Dinner was let down. Everybody was leaving the restaurants. Stay around a group of people. I firmly believe that this incident with these people would not have happened had they flown into Mexico, arranged transportation through the doctor or surgeon or clinic that they were going to, a hospital or whatever. They would have transportation to safely get them from the airport to their hotel and out to the spot. Maybe they were trying to save some money by driving, but I would not have driven to Mexico under those circumstances. And then another thing that concerns me about this, after the surgery, they want to get back in this car and drive back to South Carolina, or I'm assuming they drove. I don't know for sure. You're going to have surgery, which you can risk blood clots. Get out! Okay. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm about to Ginger, get your ass down. Come here. Come here. You're tired, y'all. Come on. Come on. Let's go. Sorry about that. I put them outside in the driveway. Sick of their ass running around here. I mean, they just running, getting on my goddamn nerves down the outside. Good. But yeah, you're going to do this stuff. Arrange for your transportation, because like I said, they're going to drive back risking blood clots, anything. You had surgery, what is she going to lay flat in this? A flight is maybe an hour or two, and you're back home. I don't know how far the airport would be from where they were going in Mexico, but having a fear of traveling because of this incident, whether you're going to Mexico or wherever, you just got to be careful wherever you go. And stay away from areas of high crime. Where they were going was a level 4. That city in Mexico was a level 4 for the United States has some type of levels that they say was dangerous, level 4. Very high dangerous area they flew into. They drove into the surgery. They have surgeries. They have surgeons all over Mexico. And maybe they should have went to Cancun. I definitely think they should have flown and had transportation. But better yet, they should have did that surgery at home. I'm very sorry that this incident happened, but I don't have any fear of traveling to out of the country, and I don't have a problem going to Mexico. I just feel if you're going to do this type of stuff, do it the right way to protect you and make sure you get back home safely. And one of the things, like I said, catch a flight. Do not drive in these countries. You don't know where you're going. You know nothing about the streets or the roads that you're driving down. Nothing about the neighborhoods where you're going. You don't know anything about where you're at. Nothing. What if you have a car accident? No, don't do it. Let someone else drive. That way you stay safe. You know, they have these, every time I've flown in Mexico, we have transportation. They have these limos or shuttle buses. They're very nice, tinted windows, air conditioning, and you're on a bus with many other tourists. And they take you to your destination. And stick to cities that are safe. Cancun, relatively safe. They've had some incidents there. Tulum, relatively safe. They had some incidents there. Cabo, Puerto Vallarta. There are a lot of places you can go in Mexico where millions of tourists go into. Cancun, to me, I think is one of the safest destinations. But again, at nighttime, get your ass back to your room. You know, don't be hanging out there in these streets in Mexico. Oh, we're going to leave this up. We're going to go downtown Mexico. We're going to go down to downtown Cancun. No. Unless you arrange transportation through your hotel to go down there. Or, you know, I wouldn't even catch an Uber in these places. You know, I wouldn't, because One place we did go, I felt really safe at night was Aruba. I didn't have any issues in Aruba. It was safe. We walked the street. Aruba was really nice. Um, Aruba was a very nice destination. We stayed at the resort. We left the resort. I even went left the resort by myself and walked around and got breakfast. I got tired of eating breakfast at the hotel, so I walked across the street and got breakfast at a place. Um, I would strongly suggest, stick with crowds of people. Go places that say, do your research on areas before you fly in there or drive in there for some surgery. Had they done their research where they were going, they probably would not have went there and went somewhere else. Research the towns or cities or villages that you're visiting or going to for whatever reason, whether it's vacation or surgery or dentist appointment, whatever. People are going to go do this stuff. Millions of people do it every year. Millions. You gotta make sure you do it the right way so you can come back home and show off your new flat belly. Got them beautiful teeth you got. Got that plastic surgery face pulled back here, nice and tight. Oh, tight and beautiful. Everybody, hey, I'm back. I can't move my face so bad. I'm back. A lot of people go down there for all kinds of surgeries and stuff. A lot of people have success. Some people have issues, and some people don't make it home. Part of life. All right, I'm about to. When I put them out there in that driver, they be standing at the door like, he put us outside. This guy is out there. Plus all this pollen all over the damn place. Today is Thursday, March 9th. Yeah, I gotta fill out this form. I just remember something. Thursday, March 9th, the year is 2023. And I'm out of here. You all enjoy the rest of this beautiful Thursday. Travel safely and travel smart so you get back home to your family and your loved ones.